We're here to limit your risk and be your trusted advisor as 21st century. What is the customer's biggest fear is downtime.
Yep.
And we're here to limit your downtime because downtime can cost hundreds of dollars an hour or thousands of dollars an hour, depending on what crop you're going into. And our goal with our winter service program is to limit that as much as we possibly can by identifying issues that could impact your downtime. And that's what we're here to do.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the FarmCast. We are on location today here in Sterling, Colorado at our brand new shop, which is very nice. So it's good to show it off. So I'm Troy Randall, our lead technology specialist. And today I got some new faces. I have Doug Ludke, who is our Vice President of Service, and joined by Davin Peterson, who is our Executive Vice President of Aftermarket. So welcome, guys, to the FarmCast.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Troy.
Yes, so typically on the FarmCast, we focus more on technology, but today's a little bit different. We're focusing on the service. So, we have a great amount of technicians and capability there when it comes to our shops. Just like this, we have this brand new nice shop here too. So we have a lot of potential here. So what are some things that we offer to our customers throughout the year to help them maximize their uptime, as we like to say?
Well, I'd like to start out by saying there's a saying in the industry that the salesman makes the first sale, but service makes the additional sales, right? And that's what customers really want. They love John Deere, but they need to be taken care of. And that's what service is about, is taking care of our customers. That's really been my focus through my whole career, is customer service and figuring out what the customer wants and what best serves them. One thing that we do offer is our winter inspection programs. And I'll be honest with you, this started out in the 90s or even the early 80s as a way to level out the highs and lows in the service industry. And what I mean by that is we always had these peak seasons for spring planting, haying seasons, summer harvest. We had a little lull in there, and then we went into winter harvest. Our service departments were just really taxed during those peak seasons, but then we had these really low lulls through the winter and even in the late summer. So in an attempt to level those out, John Deere helped us with introducing a program called the Green Light Special. And really what that was is to bring these machines in the winter, do an inspection on them, share the results of those inspections with the customers, and then giving them the opportunity to let us repair parts, take it home and repair parts themselves, or just simply letting us do it all. So that really turned into a good program, and as it evolved, it became more complicated. We now, for the last 10, 12 years, have had a program called the Priority Service Program, which was really that, except there were some really unique side effects that came from what initially was really a way to fill our shops. One of the side effects was providing this uptime during those peak seasons. We bring these machines in, we look them over, we repair them, and the customer realized less failure in season. So that was a real benefit to them. So it didn't take very long for this program to feed itself. We no longer were going out and soliciting inspections. Rather, our customers were coming to us and really demanding inspections and a more robust program. One of the issues we ran into, though, is that as machines became more sophisticated, had more tech, we really had to evolve with that technology, and our technicians changed from traditionally what was the mechanic to a true technician. And that's a different breed of employee. We don't have as many mechanical failures today as we did back then. It's now more diagnostics and electrical repair. And that's become a real challenge, especially during inspections, because it's really hard to identify those problems in a fixed setting with a machine in a static mode. Really, to diagnose those, it had to be in field and operating so we could see what was happening. John Deere realized this. They see that diagnostic times were getting high. They seen that they were starting to have more in-season failures. So they addressed that with a program that I'm really excited about. I think that you talked to Randy Ball about the other day.
Yep.
But that's our machine monitoring. And really what that's done for our service departments has given us an avenue to be proactive and to identify problems most of the time before they are a problem, and really mitigate these catastrophic failures caused by these small problems that evolved into big problems. That when it first came out, I'll be honest with you, it scared me because I didn't have enough capacity to take care of a lot of the problems we had already. And now John Deere was saying, hey, here's something else we want you to follow up on, right? And I thought, we just don't have the capacity for that. But the truth of the matter is, it's given us more capacity because we can be proactive and address those problems before they're major.
John Deere's almost added another layer to the cake. We had our mechanical service points. Now we have all these technological service points too. So it's just getting more and more complicated. So especially with our group on the precision ag side, we've seen that multiply over the years. So we have a lot more different pieces of hardware in these machines, and it's becoming a lot more integrated too. So a lot of these things we're seeing, we're able to kind of help integrate that into the service shops as well, and it's help mainstream what we see on our side and kind of help make that diagnostic process easier too. So
the one thing we've really had to focus on is we've really had to retrain our technician. They've been so accustomed to just fixing mechanical failures, and to Doug's point, we're going in part of our inspections and we're updating their software. And the technology piece of it was so scary at first, but it's been fun to watch, especially this newer generation that's coming into our business that grew up on video games and stuff like that, just really gravitate towards that. And they end up joining your team. And they're passionate about it. And our customers are relying us to be that not only mechanical fix for them, but their technological advisor as well. Now it's a full-blown staff, and it's exciting to see the evolution of our service department gravitate towards the technology piece, because it's not going away.
Yep, exactly. Because even compared to you guys, I've only been here for about 10 years, so but pretty much heavily involved in technology. And even over the 10 plus years I've been here too, it's been great to see how much more adapt our service shops and technicians have gotten to technology. Because when I first came around, pretty much if it had a display, it went to the AMS guys, it went to IFG guys. So
absolutely.
It's all integrated. They pretty much have to know this stuff inside and out. They're a lot more keen to learn it because that display is built in the machine now. It controls everything with the machine. It's not just that add-on thing they can take out, put back in, move around. So it's all built in, and it's going to get more and more integrated. So it's great to see that these younger technicians are grasping that and able to pretty much fully understand these systems and have a need and desire to understand it too. So that's been awesome to see from our standpoint. So
absolutely, I can remember as a technician in Bridgeport, Nebraska, having one of the very first variable rate plans, and the customer was so nervous about that product that he ordered a planter with a transmission and had us install the variable rates in addition, because he's afraid it wasn't going to work, right? And he wanted the transmission as a backup. So at the time, that was brand new technology, right? And I was the guy. And I wrote hours and hours on that planner, making sure that it was going to work and making sure that the customer was comfortable with it. And lo and behold, the next year, we stripped the transmission off of it because the technology worked so well, and he was so excited about it. We've come a long way since then.
I'll even coattail off that, because moving forward, the next generation, I remember back when the ExactEmerge planters first came out, electric drive, that was that was a new variable rate drive. It was a new scary thing, like let's put this electric drive, because by then variable rate drive was the tried and true. So I remember back in 2016, around that time frame, we actually sold one of the very first ones out of Holyoke, and I had the exact same feeling. It was out there, like, I'm not too familiar with this thing, how's it going to work? And luckily it's worked just fine. And actually that planter is still running right now, is actually traded in a few different times, and actually I just saw it sitting in Sydney, and a customer up there in the Sydney area has it right now too. So it's still running and still has all the main sustain components on it that it did when it was brand new 10 years ago. So great to see. So
yeah, that is awesome.
So Doug, getting back to our winter service inspection program, what does that involve, and what are the different models we can incorporate into that inspection program?
Yeah, really what that is an opportunity for us to fill our shops in the winter. I talked about that, but to get the machine in and do a real in-depth inspection on it. And that's what I expect from our employees, is to really, for lack of better terms, tear this thing apart and figure out what's going on with it. and then sharing that with the customer. And also part of that sharing is I really want them to prioritize these repairs. And a lot of our customers know that by the A, B's, and C's, right? The A category, of course, is that stuff that we know is going to fail or has already failed, needs to be fixed. B's are things that we're pretty confident are going to fail within the next 12 months, or even worse, probably in season when you need it. And then the C's, those are the cosmetic things that would be nice to fix, not necessarily affect the operation of the machine. Your body parts, your wore out seats, those things that aren't essential but really need to be fixed. And then we let the customer make their decision, right? What they want to fix, what they might want to take home and fix themselves, or what the bottom line is and what they can afford to spend, right? And then we can back into those repairs, what's most essential. I think that's a value add to the customer from a professional who knows the machine. The other part of that is, if you do these repairs in shop, you get 12 months of warranty on any work that we did. John Deere will cover the parts. 21st Century covers the labor on that for a whole 12 months. There's some security in that. There's some sense of confidence in your machine. And I think that goes a long ways to customer service, because if you have confidence that your machine is going to run all season, that's one less thing that you have to worry about. And there's plenty for a farmer to worry about today, absolutely. If we can help take that off and be a value-added partner with them, that's really what this inspection program is about.
And really what it is we're here to limit your risk and be your trusted advisor as 21st Century. What is the customer's biggest fear is downtime.
Yep.
And we're here to limit your downtime, because downtime can cost hundreds of dollars an hour or thousands of dollars an hour, depending on what crop you're going into. And our goal with our winter service program is to limit that as much as we possibly can by identifying issues that could impact your downtime. And that's what we're here to do.
We talked about that quite a bit too with Randy, but trying to mitigate that unplanned downtime is like using some of these new technologies to help, look ahead, see what the machine is telling us, and if we can not have that unplanned downtime in the middle of the day versus work around the morning or evening or a rainy day, things like that. That's what really saves, at the end of the day, saves the customer.
One thing we've seen, Troy, this year is farming is obviously tough. It's no secret to anybody, and customers are trying to save money everywhere they can. And we actually seen a decline in our winter service inspections for 2024, 2025. With that, we've seen an increase of downtime this year in our customers. Our field techs have been running like crazy, trying to keep our customers up and going, because they just didn't want to spend the money in 24, 25, and rightfully so. We get it. So I really feel like for this season, 25, 26, we're going to get a lot of those customers that didn't want to spend the money in 24, 25 or couldn't spend the money back because of the amount of downtime they had going into harvest.
I think another real benefit of this program is it gives, as you heard Davin say, not only do we inspect the machine, but we connect to the machine. We do software updates. We look at utilization of the machine, and it gives us an opportunity to visit with the customer about how they're using their machine and making sure that they're utilizing all the technology and getting all the value out of that machine that they paid for. And a lot of times there's stuff that their machine will do that they aren't even aware of. And to me, that's the fun part, right? Is showing whoever it is what this thing can do and how it is an advantage to them. So that's another great part, is this partnership with the customer and doing these inspections.
And with that too, John Deere keeps rolling out new reports all the time. So even here, kind of highlighting this right now, some technology utilization reports too. So we've had machine utilization reports forever, and we're starting to help technicians and customers digest those, read through those. Like you said, are we actually fully utilizing all the horsepower we have in these machines? Could we maybe go down a size? Could we make some changes? Are we not, are we seeing too much idle time on these machines? Could we add a tractor, subtract a tractor, things like that too? But now we're starting to look at that from a technology standpoint too. Like, all these machines are fully loaded with all the latest, greatest technology. Are we fully utilizing that from a usage standpoint? Are we, taking advantage of all that taking advantage of all those latest greatest technologies to benefit the customer and their operation.
Absolutely.
The one thing I want to point out too is, we have stores in highly ag areas, and then we have a lot of stores that are just in consumer areas. So when we talk about winter service inspections, we're not just talking about big
Just not radars.
green machines. Like, we're talking small walk behind lawnmowers all the way up to self-report forage harvesters. So we can cater an inspection program to whatever needs the customer may have. I mean, we may have a big 9R in one bay and his wife's little lawnmower in the other bay, and by God, they're just as important to one another. So.
If it's got green paint on it, we can definitely help customer out. So.
Yep, and new and old. We have a baler in the shop right now that's seeing a fair share of bales go through it, but you know what? It's still an important piece to someone's operation, and we can inspect that and make sure it doesn't miss a beat for them coming into this season.
One thing I'd mentioned earlier is trying to evolve this program as our customers change, as their needs change. So one thing we have identified this year is that segment of customers that take care of animals, right? So as we move over on the Front Range, we're seeing more horse operations, we're seeing more dairies, and what we learned from that is that these machines run every day, sometimes 18 hours a day. And they need those machines running. And they can't afford to let us take it to the shop and do an inspection on it and have it for even a week, let alone a couple weeks to get it repaired. So part of our evolution there is figuring out how we can take care of these customers. And really the answer to that is on-site inspections, fixing what we can on site, and then making a plan to bring that thing into the shop and getting them a rental or doing it when they can be without that machine, and really working on their time schedule instead of trying to make it our time schedule. So that's been a challenge, and we're working through that, and we're going to get there. We want to provide these services and, again, be a value-added partner to them. But honestly, that's a real mindset and a change of how we've always done things in the past. We're going to do it. We're going to make that commitment and move forward with that, put these programs together for all of our customers, not just our large ag customers or our lawnmower customers, but those who fall in those other sectors of ag who are just as dependent on John Deere equipment to make their livelihood.
With that, are we going to do any kind of on-site service plans too with that maybe down the road?
So we are introducing some preventative maintenance programs, which is a little different than an inspection. With the way these machines are connected, we know hours are on them, so we can be proactive about oil changes, about services, about transmission services. We have all these interactive alerts that can really tell us, maybe it's just an air filter problem or a plugged radiator problem. And rather than waiting until that machine's shut down or the customer calls in, we can be proactive and help them with that. So absolutely, those are things that we aren't there yet, but we're working to get there, and we're working as quickly as we can to get that.
One thing we just implemented is a dedicated field service team for this year in some of our stores. I mean, we've always had field service, but it's a dedicated team. And our goal going forward is a lot of our customers have just as nice facilities as we do, and they don't want their stuff sitting outside to wait while they're waiting. So if we can send out a field service tech and inspect all of their machines on site, we're absolutely going to do that. We're going to provide that convenience for our customer so their machines don't have to sit in our yard, and we can go out there on their schedule, get them done. And if the repairs can be done on site, why not do it there? They're not out of machine, and we can accomplish everything we need to do at their farm instead of in our shop.
Especially we cover a pretty broad area anymore, and some of our customers
absolutely
10, 20, 30 miles away. So if they have a large group of machines in one nice area, by all means, we'll
go out there, get it done in one day and provide the estimates, and then let them decide what they want to have fixed.
So we've made it a significant investment to do that in not only service trucks, but mobile lube trucks. So we could go on site and we can recover the old oil, change it out to new oil. We can recover the filters. We can do it all environmentally safe. And it contains concealed vehicle, and take it home and dispose of it correctly. Those things aren't cheap, but it's what the customer needs. It's what the customer wants. And we're going to go to those extents to really drive customer satisfaction, keep them up and going, And at the end of the day, I get paid by 21st Century Equipment, but without the farmer, without the producer, without the cow-calf guy, the dairy, the horse guy, we don't exist. That's why we're here, was to help them and to mitigate their risk and increase their upcoming.
So guys, we've had these service programs for a while. So what are some success stories we've had over the years that you can maybe share with us?
We've got several. We recently just had a tractor that we did a bunch of work on, and unfortunately parts fail. And because they elected to do the service with us, the winter service with us, and we did all the labor, we went out, we brought the tractor in and did about $50,000 worth of work on this tractor. Because the failed part was catastrophic, the customer didn't pay for anything. And there was downtime, and we covered a tractor, actually. And that's not something we typically do, but we're in the heat of the battle and parts fail. And so we kept that customer up and going, and it was no out-of-pocket expense to them because of the 1-year parts and labor warranty that we carry with all our parts during this program. And there's hundreds of stories like that. And I think Doug has a couple more that he could share.
Yeah, I have lots of stories about the success of our inspection programs, and most of them are the same, right? We have a pretty robust program that if you fix all the A's and B's, we're going to stand by all the work we did, and we will anyway. John Deere picked up their part of these failures, and then we picked up the rest. We picked up the service call. We picked up the trucking to get it into the shop. Out of loyalty to the customer, because they bought into our program, right? And we want to take care of a customer. I could think of a couple other stories that have to do with these expert alerts. We had a customer that we called because we were getting an expert alert telling us that their hydraulic oil filter pressure sensor was about to fail. We called the customer. I think they thought we were blowing smoke, trying to sell them something they didn't need, so they declined the repair. But we knew it was going to fail. We had pretty good confidence it was going to. So we got the part on hand to put their name on it. So it was at the counter. It did fail. 3 days later, it failed, and the customer called. It's a good thing we did that, because we didn't stock that part, but because we were proactive, we had this part in hand and actually put their name on it so they could come and get the part and repair it if they wanted to, or it'd be available for us if they wanted us to. And of course they wanted us to. They wanted to get up and get going as quickly as possible. Another story, this doesn't have to do with expert alerts, but it has to do with interactive solutions. So with AI, John Deere has figured out a way to collect data, organize that data to help them identify problems that exist with their machinery and how to fix it without all this diagnostic time. We had a tractor that went down with an electrical problem, wouldn't start. If you went by the diagnostics in the book, we had about 10 hours of diagnostics and a lot of what we call swapnostics, trying a known good part to identify a bad part. But because of this interactive solution that John Deere had, they knew exactly what the problem was. They give us the part number, they give us pictures, they showed us how to install it. So we turned a 10 or 15 hour job into a 20-minute job, which saved the customer money, saved us time that we didn't have, and saved them time. There's some really good success stories that come from all these tools we have to offer, and now it's on us to leverage them. And really, we need buy-in from the customer to trust that we have their best interests at heart. And it's not just for more revenue, but really to keep them up and going and reducing that downtime.
Well, thanks, guys. That was some great information about our new winter service inspection program. So a very good program for our customers to utilize to make sure we're in tip-top shape for next year. So Davin, Doug, thanks for joining us. Great information. Thanks for sharing those success stories and all that new information we have coming out. I'm Troy Randall with the FarmCast. We'll see you on the next episode.